This is Quid Pro Roll, a fantasy narrative play where adventurers explore the brave new world of Varian and uncover the mysteries buried by time.
The Vinfather spring is incredibly mild, and the thaw of the winter's frost brings forth celebration, even more so there than in other areas of Varian, especially when festivals occur, particularly the festival that welcomes the beginning of spring and the end of winter, the beginning of the year, Solsera. This is a time for food and drink and friendship and catching up with people that you maybe didn't get to see when you were not willing to make the 2-mile walk in the snow. But one of the things that is known at these festivals is their performances. From talented musicians to children attempting their first tap dance routine, there is a wide variety of performances you can find at these kinds of festivals. Some that one could argue are closer to open mic nights than the traditional bardic performances of yore. And this is where we find ourselves. At this festival, more particularly, right beside the walk-up on the stage of the festival, where there is a young bard and their grandmother.
Braggi is a young half-elf. We want to say he looks to be about the human equivalent of maybe 15, 16. He's beginning to get the first sad little bits of mustache stubble really popping in, with his fiery ginger hair that his grandma is ever so maybe futilely trying to push back and down. Braggi himself is dressed in his Sunday best, we'll call it that. A lovely sky blue tunic and very, very beige hose with a very simple leather belt to bring the whole ensemble together. If his haircut were not so tragic, he'd look all right.
As his grandmother is pushing back his hair, she's going to draw her hands down his face until she just pinches his cheeks so hard that they bring a lot of color back into his face before tapping it lovingly. "Oh, Buttons, you're going to do splendidly up there."
Thank you, Grandma. I know. We've been practicing so much. I have a very good feeling about tonight, even though I threw up twice.
"You're going to do wonderfully, Buttons. And you did all the work. I was simply an audience. And that's all that there is out there. Just an audience. Just like me."
An audience of my peers. Yes. Okay. Yeah, just an audience.
And I'm certain that there are grandmas out there, and who couldn't want to just eat you alive?
I don't want a repeat of Grandpa. Oh, let's go.
Oh, that's your cue. That's your cue. That's your cue. Go up, Buttons. You're going to do wonderfully.
Okay. Okay. And Braggi will ascend the steps and rush out onto the stage.
You rush out onto the stage to a smattering of polite applause. The crowd goes decorumed.
The crowd goes mild.
The crowd goes mild. God, that is so much funnier than what I said. That is so much better. Pretend that's what I said. Pretend I came up with that.
Braggi takes a deep breath. And as he does so, as he breathes in, he steps back, pulling his hands up into his chest and his chin down, stepping just ever so slightly back in the shadows before stepping forward theatrically, his arms shooting out into a low, graceful bow. He'll stand tall. Lo, come and listen.
Everybody that is sitting on stools lifts the stool, goes forward 2 steps, and sits back down.
Thank you. I meant more in a metaphorical sense, but also I accept audience participation. If everyone could please scooch to the middle row and come closer, that would be great. Thank you.
As soon as he says he will welcome audience participation, a chill wind blows through the festival.
That's too real.
A dark and frightening omen.
Tonight, I tell the story of the mystic hero, Va, and the Vinfather. Gasp. Gasp, 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 gasp.
And then we're going to smash all those together. So it's like one group. Gasp.
Sound like a gorilla trying to like mime something.
Look, I only have you and me here. I have to be the audience. I'm going to do the gasps.
All have heard the tales of Va, but
if we haven't, what would be a good place to start? Cries a child from the back.
honestly, probably Va and the Trolls. That one is very it's very accessible to a new audience.
Is there another bard that's going to tell that one?
You can ask your mom after the show.
Okay, so should I leave in case there are spoilers?
No, there's no spoilers. It's okay.
Well, all right.
So sorry, Mrs. Dorma daughter. I didn't mean to give you more work. That's my bad. Anyway, tonight I will be telling the story of Va and the Vinfather. Once, Va was traveling the land, as they so often did, looking for work as a mystic, the bridge between fae and folk. And as they traveled, they came upon a cabin, an isolated family far from any village. Quite curious, they thought. But also, they was quite hungry and quite tired and had not slept under a roof in many, many moons, and thought, well, I can certainly put my social anxiety to the back of my mind and go ask them if I can at least have some bread or maybe some water.
Mood, calls a man from the back.
Exactly. Big mood. We've all been there. We've been sleeping outside for weeks, and you just want some bread like a little duck.
I think you might think that that's more of a commonality than it is.
Braggi will stop for a second, look over at his grandma, and his eyes will squint just like, did you raise me weird?
The grandma's going to look over and, oh, hush you, I'm listening to the story.
Anyway.
And she's going to shake her hand in that quiet down old lady way. Or was it just my grandma's way? Where she would just waggle her hand at me like she was trying to fan me away.
Anyway, they approached the cabin in the woods. And as they did so, they sensed a change in the air. It was so Sarah, just like tonight. Yet around this cabin, the air was blisteringly cold, like it was still midwinter. And it was dark, even though the sun was still high in the sky. They knew something was happening, but really wanted a sandwich. And so,
Mood.
yes, big mood. We all love sandwiches with tomatoes.
Not the tomatoes.
They approached the cabin and knocked on the door. After a moment, it creaked open, and a man welcomed him. An older gentleman. He was a game warden for the local lord. And that is why the cabin was so far out. Though it seemed, as they took in the cabin, there was more than just game and the various traipsings of a trapper. There was wine-making equipment, and the man, his hands were stained and his feet were stained, and it seemed as though he had been picking up the wine trade.
Where is this handsome older man making wine?
In his house.
No, where can I find him?
They lived several hundred years ago, so probably in the cemetery?
Oh, Buttons, you break my heart every time with your stories.
I will not allow a repeat of Grandpa.
As he visibly goes through a flashback and then recenters.
Anyway, they took this in and asked the man for a sandwich and for hospitality. The man, being a kind sort, allowed they to come in and enjoy some of the fruits of his labor, a lovely roast pheasant sandwich, and a delicious ice wine of his own make. The two got to talking, and the man told they that he had picked up winemaking because it was simply too difficult to go into town. And sometimes he just wanted something very sweet, and also his ducks did not like bees. So he had to pick up winemaking instead, because the ducks really like grapes, especially frozen grapes. They go crazy for frozen grapes.
Do we need this aside about duck preferences?
Why would you not want to know duck preferences?
You know what? Fair. Continue on.
Yeah. Anyway, as they and the man kept speaking, the house continued to grow colder and colder, and they became more suspicious. And it wasn't just because his sandwich had become a solid block of ice. It was also because the house was blisteringly cold, even with a fire burning high. They turned to the man and asked him plainly, "Good sir, what plagues you this night?" And the man held his face like a mask, controlled, neutral, but his eyes were full of a weary fear. A man held at terror's door for too many days. He said nothing to they. He simply raised one finger to his lips in a shushing movement. And Braggi will raise his fingers to shush the crowd. And then, from his lips, he raised that same finger to point up to the second story of his home. They, a seasoned mystic, understood immediately, and quiet as a kiss at midnight, he rose from his chair and made his way up the stairs. With each step, the air grew colder and colder and darker and darker, as if it was the longest night of the year all over again. At the top of the stairs was a wide bedroom that the man clearly shared. One bed for him, empty and cold, and one bed occupied by a young man. Waves of ice trailing off of him, but he bore a familiar visage, clearly the man's son. They knew what was happening, and he knew that there was nothing to be done for the man. When the true first frost hits, the killing wind from the north, it blows to the valley, and the grapes on the vine freeze and begin to fall. It is these grapes that are collected and made into ice wine. The same wine as in all of your cups tonight.
Hey! A cheer rings out as everyone toasts.
But when that wind comes, it is at the behest of a dark and terrible creature, the Vinfather, the Wine Father. His breath is the first blow of winter, and he comes in the dead of night, leading the dead winter into the land. He walks amidst the grapes, selecting the juiciest for himself and taking them to his home, where he makes fairy wine. We have all seen the creatures at the edge of the forest, the monsters in the night. We have seen what they look like. The Vinfather is no such simple creature, no such simple monster. He looks like a man, like you or I at first, and can walk amongst us. When he makes his fairy wine, he brings it amongst the people, so they might sup and take upon themselves his essence of dead winter. So cold will their hearts become that they will lose their humanity, their mortality, and become like him, to be harvested when the time is right.
Does that mean he makes people wine?
Yes, he does. But not out of meat, out of your soul. I don't know how that makes juice, but soul wine, yeah, is how that's done. Anyway, they knew that there was nothing to be done for the young man. His essence, his soul, forever tainted by the Vinfather's dark blessing. The best that he could do was to speed what was left of him to Isamur. He drew his blade of silver and laid it upon the chest of the young man and did what needed doing.
What was that?
He killed him.
Oh.
Yeah, he stabbed him through the heart.
Oh.
Yeah, because if he didn't do that, then he would just keep getting colder and colder and colder. And that's actually, if the Vinfather doesn't come and collect your soul to be made into soul wine, that's actually why sometimes we get blizzards in the middle of the summer.
That's why?
That's why.
So the fix for that is to kill somebody.
It's to kill the person that drank the fairy wine, the fairy ice wine.
You notice several members of the audience look at their cups and immediately dump the wine out and throw the cup behind them.
I mean, you already drank it. You can. It's probably safe.
Keep him on the hook for tomorrow night.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. No. Yes. So while, and he's like getting back into character. While the man was now passed on beyond the gates, there was still one more act for they to commit that night. The Vinfather would have to be dealt with. And that's a story for night 2 of the festival. So come see my show then. He does like jazz hands as he's like walking off the stage.
Oh, his grandmother will come up to meet him and crush his cheeks in her vice grip. Oh, Buttons, that was wonderful. We do need to work on your dismount.
I think my dismount was perfect.
Oh, everything you do is wonderful, Buttons, but it was weird.
If people don't like it, they just don't understand my art.
The old lady is going to toddle up the stairs and go onto the stage. Good people, don't let that part fool you. He's wonderful at what he does, and the story has a thrilling conclusion. All right, bye now. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye now.
I'm going to go kiss girls and steal adult beverages. Bye, Grandma.
Tune in for the next Fireside. Or the one after that. Or the one after that. Or the one after that. To hear the tale of how the Vinfather concludes.
Quid Pro Roll is an independent narrative played podcast supported by Richmond Comix and listeners like you. Our audio editing and sound design is provided by Scott Moore. Our soundtrack design is by Scott Moore and Gabriel Perez. Our GM and world builder is Alex Smith. Asuka is played by me, Luke Davis. Vera is played by Jenna Garrett. Drolzna is played by Joshua Maltby. Links to our cast and crew socials as well as our Patreon page can be found in our show notes. Thanks, everybody.